Okay, so this is like a follow-up to the video I made the other day about the ITX build I've got and how it can become a Steam box using Bazzite. So we'll have a look at the system, do the install of Bazzite, do some benchmarks, and then you can see for yourself. I mean, the key thing is you saw me turning it on there. It's a small compact unit. You can plug it into the TV. You've got one of those beautifully sculpted IKEA units there, and it can become a games machine. I mean, I've got over 800 games on Steam, so it's a bit of a, you want to be able to play them and not have to do it on a desktop. Anyway, so there we go. We're in Bazzite. Booting up. So it's in games mode. So it'll just come up like a console. And then you can use a controller over Bluetooth and you can play games just like you can with an Xbox and a PS5. So let's have a look at the system. Just a quick recap of the machine and talk about what it's got in it. Here we are, Mini-ITX, Ryzen 9, 16, RX 9060, 32GB RAM, and 1TB SSD. So it's to install Bazzite now. Here we are. So make your own. It's really easy to install a USB, pop it in, and you'll get this. And first of all, ask you to select a drive. Now I had Catchy OS on this, so I'm going to delete this one. This is my additional drive. So reclaim space, delete all those partitions, and then you can start your installation. So we'll jump along a bit with this as it goes, as I make its partitions up. Otherwise it'll take forever. And it's getting to the end, and then we need to reboot. This will take a bit longer. So it's shutting down Bazzite first install. It's coming back up again. That's for TMP, I think. But anyway, just push through and go into it. So it'll reboot up again. Updating cards. This takes forever, and then it'll reboot again. So here we go. We're back in a reboot. Bazzite 42. Give it a sec. And now I do believe it launches into sort of like the Steam Deck. Here we go. Launches into this, which is updating something. Looks like Steam, actually. That's a Steam 380k a meg. That's a sort of Steam size. Anyway, we'll zip to the end of this. So once that's done, come on. Install an update, it'll reboot, sort of boots up into this again. And then we've got our standard Steam selection screen. This, you see this on Steam Deck all the time. And then I'll select GMT. And it's on network at the moment. And then it'll do this. Now this takes ages. I think it was 20 minutes. Well, no, 11 minutes. 20 minutes. 11 minutes. So then it'll reboot again. It takes a while, all this. Just work through it. The result's worth it. And then I should get, I believe, the Steam login screen. There we go. So use your QR code, get you in. And first of all, you notice how pale the screen is. Now, I don't know why it does this. It seems to auto default to HDR, but when this loads up, we'll go in and we'll switch off those settings. So user data. Welcome to Steam Deck, like normal. And let's get in there and get into the menu. Get rid of that horrible grey look. Yeah, there we are. And menu, settings. We'll go in there, we need to go to display. Scroll down and enable HDR, flip that off. And now I've got the colour back properly. I don't know why it does this by default. What else do we have to do? Now I've got this set up to Steam stable. So I need to jump in, switch to enable developer mode. Then you can see all the bits and bobs, and then go down to developer and switch on it's allow extra channels or something. Yeah, it'll show advanced update channels. Then go back again. I can navigate my way around this. Go back to system and then select main and Steam stable, and that won't do anything, but it just puts you on different OS, just different update channel. I always do this by default whenever I try and do Steam Deck. Now the thing is with this is basically the moment that Steam OS runs properly from the recovery image, it's all about the graphics card, that's why it can't do it. When it runs properly, I'll put Steam OS directly onto this and just remove Bazzite. Sorry about that, Bazzite. You're brilliant, but realistically, I just want like pure Steam on there. Anyway, just have a whiz around in there. Right, go back to menu, home, or store. What am I doing? There we go. I'm going to do something here, I think. I can't remember when I filmed this. Okay, so we're back into here. Power, and now what we'll do is we'll switch out to the desktop mode. You can see it. I mean, you don't want to be in here all the time. I mean, you can if you want to fiddle, but that's it. That's the desktop behind it. You get this on Steam Deck, but obviously it's Arch Linux desktop. And you can play it in this mode. I mean, that's the desktop mode. You've got apps, utilities, all sorts of stuff, browser. But what we'll do is, because there's no games on here at the moment, I'll load up a load of games and then we'll come back and we'll do some benchmarks on them so you can see them on a 9060 XT running. Okay, so here we go, we're back. And now I've loaded up a load of games. And so let's just run some benchmarks on some of them. Before I do that, what am I going to do? I'm going to show you something. Here we go. Yeah, Control 1 brings up the left-hand thing, and Control 2 brings up the right-hand thing. This is quite tricky on a keyboard. It took me ages to work this out, where you could bring up the left and right, because in the right-hand menu element, it's got things that you need to have a play with. So yeah, it's quick through. And also the other thing is, because I'm in 4K, you need to set the resolution of the game to 3840 by 216. And then you can fire up, you just have a look through this. You've got all the stuff you've got in a normal Steam Deck, but you can sort of, there's a little bit more added, I think, for Bazzite. So yeah, so let's just go back out, and then I think what we're going to do is bring up the other menu and just show you what goes in. I mean, that's the normal, this one. Okay, so if you look, you've got notifications at the top, do normal notifications in Steam, and then you've got basic stuff there, add device, Bluetooth. This one. Now, when you normally see this, it's that mode, then you switch to advanced and you can do all this. I've limited it to 60 frames a second because it's going on a telly, which only does 60 frames. You can have a play with some of the settings in here depending on your machine. That manual GPU clock, I'm not sure about that for this, because you can. When I flicked it, it worked, but we'll leave that well alone. And yeah, so then you've got soundtracks, never use that, and then that bit. So what we'll do now is we'll jump into a benchmark, and I think the first one I chose to do was the classic Tomb Raider. So up it launches, play it, and then you've got the Steam intro because it believes it's a Steam Deck, but obviously you don't need it. But obviously with the controller it is relevant. So yeah, just like you on a Steam Deck. Now up it comes. And we're right, so what I've done, I've got it in 4K, as you saw, there you go, 3840 by 2160. And then I'm going to give it maximum settings on here and run it through the benchmark. Okay. Yeah, and it's just a look at options, display. There we are, everything out, TTA. I should try on that SMAAT times 2, I would imagine, but we'll leave it on that for now. Custom graphics, and that's maxed out. That's everything you can do. And that's on the benchmark. Now what I'm looking for on all these games, because I'm on a TV at 60 Hertz, not 60 Hertz, it's 50, I'm in England. So I'm looking for between 50 to 60 frames per second. That would be totally fine for me. I know it's controversial on a 4K screen in my living room. I mean, obviously I could drop it to 1080p and it would be blindingly fast, but between 50 and 60 is fine. UK is 50 hertz. I know America is 60 hertz, but we're 50, so we're 25 frames a second. We're not 29. So our eyes are more used to 50 hertz signals than they are when they're interlaced than they are 60. I mean, obviously there's a lot more TVs coming out now that are 100 hertz, 200 hertz. I believe beyond 200 hertz is sort of a waste of time. And yeah, great. But I mean, the whole idea of this box is like £1,000, and I can play all my games pretty well. There's a point where the cost ratio, you think, Jesus, I'm going to spend £2,000 on a box that sits by my telly. I can play all these hundreds of games I've got on Steam, and it's pretty good. And do you know what I'm saying? There's a balancing act here. You've got to do between cost and performance. I mean, if you want to sit at a desk with a 2,000 computer and have everything on 200 frames per second or 300, Jesus, it costs more to buy a RTX 5090 or something, or 507080 than the whole computer. But why would I want to do that? Because the technology keeps advancing. I always believe that you should dive in low or mid-level, because the next wave of technology, basically completely trumps the previous, and you're left with a very expensive card. And it's doing it so quick now, a very expensive card, and basically it's not that great anymore, where the next generation of cards supersedes it quite quickly. So I never buy the expensive cards, ever. Never buy the top one, because within a year, I mean, that's how these companies operate, within a year or two, that card's going to be outdated. Yeah, I know with the NVIDIA cards, it's interesting with lots of reviews where they've had the increased bump and all this, and NVIDIA are really focusing on AI. So it's a bit of a cheat, isn't it? Where rasterized frames versus increase in rasterized frames versus increase of frame gen. Is that really a good, yardstick for it? Anyway, I mean, you look up there, I've got the overlay running, and obviously this has got a benchmark in it anyway. So this has the same 52 frames. I mean, as I said, I went sort of between 50 to 60. I'm quite happy. I haven't played this for ages. I mean, it's quite old, but it's got a great inbuilt benchmark, much like Cyberpunk. And they've just added a benchmark to Doom Dark Ages as well. I mean, obviously they've sussed it. But if you have a benchmark built into the game, more people like me are going to get it, so they can use the benchmarking tools to talk about system performance. It's very smart marketing. So, well done, IDOS. Not with this one. Right, and what do we got? We've got 56 frames per second. I can live with that. Totally live with that. 79% GPU brand. Interesting. But it's interesting. I'm not sure, I might have to rerun that, because, I mean, it should be pretty smooth, this game on here. Okay, let's quit out of that. What are we going to have a look at next? We are going to have a look at... Did Tomb Raider? I'll do Cyberpunk. Oh no, let's do I did Black Myth Wukong next. Okay, this is the downloadable benchmarking tool that you've got built in. Well, you download it separately. It's also built into the main game. I've got the main game, but it's a huge download. This is only like 8 gig or something. So let's have a look at the settings. So we've got display is 4K. I've turned motion blur out and weak. I did this and everything. It's my preference. I hate motion blur. So I just turn it down. And then we've got 50% FSRs on. No ray tracing. That just kills these AMD cards. I'm not too really bothered about that. And I've got everything on high. I mean, there's a really weird bit where you sort of, you get that. I think they've got high, ultra, and cinematic. There's a point where you really can't tell. And it's sort of, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at when I'm looking at like cinematic mode. I mean, I'm sure it does look better, but it's a personal preference, because if you're engrossed in the game, I've always found, you don't always sort of pay as much attention to these beautiful backgrounds as you should. I mean, like right now, we're flying through a predetermined scene and we're looking. When you're playing these games, you're not, are you? You're focusing on what's coming towards you, and you're sort of like peripheral vision's not interested in the beautiful dancing leaves. You're just not that bothered. I think that physics is a big part of it. So when you see like water splashes and stuff in the scene and rocks crumbling, that's cool. But it's all right, you do notice it. But when it comes to background stuff, I mean, the level of detail is a bit of an oddity, and they go overkill with this stuff. But that looks like it's doing okay. I've tried this on quite a few setups, and I know that people always say that this game really kills GPUs. It's sort of like a really stressful game, but for what we're doing, it's great. I mean, I can live with that. I haven't got very far on this. I mean, with all that, I keep loading the games up because I'm doing benchmarks all the time. I never really get into them. I've done about, I don't know, about 2 or 3 hours on this, maybe tops. It's a great game. I should actually spend some time, stop making YouTube videos and play these games a little bit more. Here we go, around the corner. I mean, it looks great, you know. Maybe a bit judgy here. I think my timeline's set to 25 frames per second, and this was recorded at 60p, so it could be a bit of a weird outlook. It's super smooth when you played it. So it's a beautiful looking game, isn't it? Let's just see that run through. Yeah, that jerkiness is nothing to do with. That's probably because I put a mixed timeline in here. If it does look jerky when you watched it, I mean, DaVinci Resolve. I'll do a few tutorials on that at some point in the future. I've been using it for Resolve for, Christ, 10 years, 12 years, since 9, God, 10, and it's on 20 now. Makes me feel old. Anyway, here we go. That should be the end of the benchmark. What have we got? 60 frames a second. Perfect. So there you go. Low, minimum 42, 66 top, 60 frames a second. So for my world, that's perfect. And it looked great. I could be quite happy to play this. And here we are. I've jumped straight into Cyberpunk. What have we got in that? So that's set up for graphics, custom, FSR 3, texture quality high, put ray tracing on medium, crowd density is high. I mean, the thing is, you can tweak these down slightly. You don't, as I mentioned, you don't always need to play games on maximum settings. I'm not sure if that really helps. It may look a little bit better, but in games like this, maybe this one actually, because you look around at the surroundings, but on certain games, you just wouldn't do it. Well, it wouldn't do it, but it just wouldn't have any beneficial thing because you're sort of like checking out. You know, you're playing the game, trying to shoot the guy or pick up the box or jump the log or whatever's going on. Okay, here we go. So now, I don't know, is frame gen on this? I think it is. But I'm looking for about between, what have we got? Doesn't look too bad. It's 48. So it's saying at the top there. 45, 40, 43. I suppose I could go back and tweak the settings a little bit more on this to get it up above 50. But I mean, I don't know. I'll see what the result is at the end. But you could step back a little bit with it, and it's still going to look amazing. I mean, at 4K, I mean, the problem with TV is TVs can't do 1440. Well, might try to, mine sort of threw a complete wobbly. So you've got to jump between these two places. You've got to be 1440, you've got to be 1080 or UHD, which is, well, UHD, not 4K, UHD, which is 2160. So, I mean, and I'm on 2160. So, yeah, so you are sort of, it's a bit difficult one for a TV. I mean, but this is looks totally acceptable to me. 60 frames. What's this going to come out? Probably about 50 something as an average. 50. Can live with that. I'm sure that it would, yeah, 43. It'll dip down during the heavy scenes. So let's go to, what have we got next? Helldivers. Now, this is a phenomenal game. And I should play it more. It's just so much fun. They really did a good job with this. It's sort of, obviously, it's Starship Troopers. It's all built on a world like Starship Troopers. Robert Heinlein's novel. Brilliant about about fascism and all these kind of things. Brilliant book to read. Obviously, the film version of Starship Troopers takes a great deal of liberties with his book, and this is sort of a continuation of it. It's sort of like a very satirical and comedic look at sort of fascism and patriotism and stuff like that. So let's have a look at the settings. I've got it to display, 380, so it's 4K quality, VSync's off, and then graphics quite high. Got a lot of it on ultra, on high, yeah, ultra. So it's quite highly spec'd up. Anyway, let's jump back in. So yeah, I mean, I'm just doing this by myself. So you select my mission. Here we go. And then jump into the Hell pods. I'm sure this was from Doom. One of the Dooms, they all come out in pods, don't they? Is it Doom 2 or Quake? No, it's a Quake where they do this, where they get into a pod and you begin. That was a great opening. I think maybe which Quake it is. Then you've got to add your stratagems, which is your extra bit. So like a wasp, whatever that is, and then salute, off you go. And yeah, great cinematics in this as well. Drop you down. What's it doing on there? 60 frames per second. It's locked at 60, so it's okay. I can't see any visual issues. I mean, it just looks great. October 26th is Liberty Day, remember? Here we go. Land in your pod. That sort of pod thing's nicked from Warhammer, isn't it, as well? Warhammer's a lot of pod dropping. Hang on, so I've got to go over there. Let's just see if I can sneak up. You can see the graphics are perfect. The cape looks great. You know. What am I going over there? Let's just... Yeah, robot guys. The robot guys. Let's just lob a grenade in there. I think that's possibly the best way to do it. See what happens. Yep, that happened. Oh, okay, maybe I should have done that then. Let's try another grenade. Yeah, and here comes the bot ship. Will be here in a second. One more grenade. Oh, there it is. Whoops, I should have waited until they dropped the bots off, shouldn't I, really, before I threw that last grenade in. Anyway, let's just sort these guys out. I wish this was first person, to tell you the truth. If this was first person, this would be my perfect game to play, but it's not. It's third. I don't mind, but I'm a big fan of first person shooters. Obviously, I mean, you see a lot more when you do third person. You see much more of the terrain. Oh, got to get this guy. Come on. Take him out, take him out. Oh, that's not good. Reload, shoot. Got him. Someone over there. Get him. Get that dude. Yeah. Need to use a stim, don't I? There we go. Well done. Well done. Bit of combat triage. Let's go over there, see what's going on. Oh, another one. Let's get him. And he's down. Okay. Oh, I got him. Let's get around there. Now, someone's shooting at me. Someone is shooting at me. I saw someone. Yeah, someone's shooting at me. What's going on here? Oh, there's a lot of them. Oh, shit. Run. Run away. Run. Panic. Come on, dive. And I'm dead. There you go. Yeah, I haven't got much time on this. I need to play it a bit more, don't I, I need to play it a bit more. Anyway, let's come out of this. And what have we got now at the end? So that's Black Myth, Wukong, Cyberpunk. And let's try Doom. Now, I've only just, the 1960s support is quite recent. I mean, I've tried this before a couple of weeks ago. This wouldn't even work. Bazzite wouldn't even play, but this still doesn't work properly. Until the other day, it would crash. I mean, I don't know what's going on with it. But now it plays, but there's no acceleration, as you'll see. No acceleration. So I've got it installed. So I'm just waiting for Bazzite to do an update or whatever's going on to get it to work on here. So let's just have a look at it. I mean, it starts well, but then it's just atrocious afterwards. Yeah, load up. And you can see, feel it now. What happens is when it gets through this screen, it couldn't get past that end video until the other day. It would just freeze the machine. I think it was a Mesa. You need Mesa 2.14, I think this is on now, but that's still not good enough for this. There's something going on with it. I'm sure some optimizations will come up soon for this. So now this has got, as I mentioned, it's got a benchmark mode. So if you go into benchmarks, oh no, so I've gone into settings. Yeah, so there's the settings, everything. FSR's on, everything. Balanced, but it doesn't make a difference. You can see it's actually really slow. And then, yeah, really slow. It's 4K. Right, now I'll go into extras, and at the bottom you've got benchmarks. You see how slow it's moving? So if I click on that first one to run it, it's just grinding. Game's great, 9 frames per second. So there's something wrong. There's something, you can see it's starting to try and do the graphics. Look at it. It's not rendering anything properly. I'm sure it works okay on NVIDIA, but it doesn't work on this. So they get 6 frames per second, I think will come out of that. Yeah, that's not great, is it? So now let's have a look. Get out of here. If we can eventually navigate my way back out of it. It's really slow. Really slow. Something going on there. Hopefully that'll, sort of they'll sort that out. Here we go. So I bought this the other day for 40 quid on the Steam summer sale. I've been meaning to buy it for years. It's my favourite game of the Call of Duty Black Ops, Call of Duty franchise completely. Nothing's come close to it for me. I just enjoyed it so much. And the multiplayer on this was amazing. And yeah, so this was such a good game. I mean, there's no benchmark on this. We're just going to boot it up. It's great that you can do this. All the older games, I'm showing you really recent games, but the older games, they play so well on these platforms because people have been optimizing for ages. So let's come out of that. What are we going to get into? Campaign. I haven't tried multiplayer on this. I should see if anything still goes for multiplayer. So here we go. Let's get into it. Let's switch back to the living room maybe. I mean, this is what this is all about, is using this machine as a living room computer. So I mean, there it is. I mean, it's great for mucking around, for running these games as a desktop, as a sort of home PC, thing to play all your games on in the living room. It's brilliant. I mean, that's a 4K. It's a Roku 4K TV I've got, and I mean, but yeah. So just sit there and do this. I use a Mac for work. So I like to separate, because obviously Macs can't play games. So I mean, I like to separate off all my gaming stuff. And this is a great way to do it. And now you just plug that thing in. And I mean, there are some tricks I can do with it, to sort of get it to work. It's got Windows installed as well. But yeah, I mean, that's it, really. It's a great box, great system. It's £1,000. You can play your Steam games on there, It's I don't know, it just works for me. So yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope this is useful. Give Bazzite a go. It's a great operating system, and I'll speak to you soon.